I'm hitting record.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Do you say it or I say it
Nigga,
first?
all right. Welcome to Black Love Matters, where this serves a therapy session for figuring out adulthood.
Loving each
I
other.
find Aaron, Brock, and Michelle.
Or Jay-Z and Beyonce. Who are you?
I'm Nero.
And I'm Nyambi.
And this is episode 366, y'all.
Hey.
We got a special episode for y'all. But before we get to that, be sure to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating review on Apple Podcasts. And on Stitcher, and follow us on all forms of social media at Black Love Matters. That's Black with no K.
I almost forgot like what episode it was. I forgot what day it was because I done got a couple days off as a cubicle warrior. Every day is every day is a holiday to me.
I know, right?
So I'm glad you did that. I had to get on track. Well, as we told y'all before, remember we're taking some time off. We still taking the time off. We still resting, as Bernie Mac say. I'm learning that I'm more of a Bernie Mac type of rest girl. You know, when Bernie Mac, remember, was that Kings of Comedy or was that just one of his other things? When he's like, when niggas rest, they go on, they go on break.
They break.
I'm definitely a Bernie Mac type of nigga. Like, I ain't looked at my phone. I ain't did nothing. I don't know what day it is. But we had to come out of rest for a very, 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 very special episode. So we're going to have this end of the year roundtable, Sis Bros Cuz, and we didn't think it would be appropriate for us to just do it alone, right? We've been talking about this theme of community, connecting folks, and really, just bringing that to the forefront. And we thought a perfect way to do this will be with some of the folks who have been rocking with us like since day one, super, super early on. And we're just so grateful just to have them on here because not only have they been rocking with us, they have done their own stuff. They are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of them got their own podcast. They got their own like entrepreneurial stuff they're doing,
niggas
music,
got books and shit. Like
they have things that I really want. I think the community know about, but I need the community to know about.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have our very special guests. We're going to have Shan, Sir Jeffrey, and Kris and Karlos on this episode. And I'm so excited. Y'all know we about to cut up. We about to cut a fool. Niram, you got some thoughts? How you gonna bring our folks in?
Oh my God. Well, all of these are my people, my sister, cousins and family and things of that sort. So, let's start off with ladies first.
Okay.
Shan, let us know who you are, what you working on. How did you find out about Black Love Matters?
Come on off.
Everybody, my name is Shan. Of course, you guys hear me on the voicemails just screaming before I mention who I am. I'm a creative. I have the podcast, She Gets It podcast, and Cozy Womb podcast for parenting. And I stumbled upon Black Love Matters when I'm just going through researching to always figure out what's the next podcast coming up and what are they talking about and what's their flow like. And then it just became this routine of how do I start my day? I'm going to listen to Black Love Matters. How do I get through this drive in traffic in Atlanta? I'm going to listen to Black Love Matters. It just becomes a thing that I do to the point where my kids will be like, are you going to listen to that podcast? With the guy and the lady. I'm just like, shut up. Yes, I am. So that's how I found Black Love Matters. And I've been just completely involving you guys in my life and my day and just keeping up on things. If I didn't catch it myself, I know that you guys caught it and, just dissecting different topics and just getting some sense of familyness. Mm-hmm. Being so far apart. Even before this pandemic, it still was I don't want to be around the people I'm related to, but I can still get a sense of family by listening to the show. So that's how I found you guys. And I just been stuck ever since.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
We appreciate
my heart getting full. I'm a softie. I'm a Leo. We be pretending, but we're really a softie.
Nigga want to be pet like a kitten.
Yes, I pretend to be a lion, but I'm really a kitten.
Sir Jeffrey, what up, though? Tell us about yourself, man. How you found us? What you working on?
Yo, what up, though? Sir Jeffrey in the building, Detroit, West Side, 7 Mile. What up? I found you guys after I went through a heartbreak. It was like my most recent relationship. I was just getting out, kind of like an on and off situation. And I was just looking for some type of emotional stuff to kind of binge on. And I came across your podcast and I ended up finding joy there because I found a lot of laughter, a lot of needed laughter after that heartbreak. So for me, it was more of a instant connection when, Nyambi started talking about Barack Obama and Beyonce, and I just start cracking up and, just hearing about Niram, sharing like both being cancers and having like, you know, this kind of connection, just a lot of similarities. And, you know, throughout the years, damn, I think it's been like, I don't even know, like three plus years now. Mm-hmm. You guys have just been like my family, just reaching out, you know, besides the podcast, we reach out to each other on a personal level. Mm-hmm. And you guys are like my extended family now. So for me, this podcast has been more of like a therapy session just to kind of get away, you know, because Black people don't really like to dive into therapy. It's kind of a stigma with that. So this is my therapy. And just coming here, finding laughter, and you guys keep it raw and real. You know what I'm saying? Just, you guys don't really hold back. So that's how I really found out about the podcast. And for me, you know, I'm a creative. I'm a polymath. I have a wide range of learning. Have my own podcast, Set It Off podcast with Sir Jeffrey 5D. I do some other stuff, music, SAG after actor, you know, just some dash type of guy.
Okay.
Amazing.
I'm living in Los Angeles right now. Just graduated college class of 2020, right. BA in African Studies. And yeah, I'm just here to kick it with y'all niggas.
That's what's up. This nigga got all types of shit. Nigga said SAG after podcast.
How you say it now?
SAG after.
It sounded like somebody uncle. You know, you can try to tell your family something, they still pronounce your shit wrong. Damn.
What you say you got again? You a Sage Award?
He a tag. He in the tag.
He got that tag.
It's SAG.
He got that tag for sure.
Jesus.
What?
Get it right, Nero.
Kris and Karlos, what up, though?
What up, though? Hey, y'all. We are
Kris and
Karlos. We are gay,
Black,
married, and
funny as fuck.
Come on.
These niggas practice.
As y'all can tell, we got a lot of chemistry together. Kris and I have a podcast called Kicking It with Kris and Karlos that actually you and Iambi like really inspired so much. I remember like listening to y'all were like episode like 60.
Yeah, they had been in 60s.
And it was like 60s or 70s. I forget which one, but then we sent in our love story.
Oh yeah.
And then y'all read it off.
Yes.
And I was like, oh man, this is dope.
It is.
So yeah, I don't know how we found you. I think I just started looking up Black podcast on Google. And just following them all. So then you guys, I just listened to the ones, and then Kris eventually started listening with me, right?
Right.
Let's see. So my name's Karlos Dillard. I'm a podcaster. I consider myself an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I'm like Jeffrey. I'm just like Jeff. I'm surprised that you got so many similar people. I'm a Cancer.
All my people.
That's what I'm talking about.
All my people.
Through and through.
Through and through. Let's see. I do acting as well. I do commercial acting. I ain't SAG though. I ain't SAG.
You ain't tagged.
You ain't tagged for sure.
SAG, you gotta pay your way into that shit. You gotta pay dues.
Yeah.
Dues every year.
Sure do.
And then let's see what else. I'm an author. I wrote a book about my experience in foster care. I grew up in Detroit. So that's kind of how I love when you guys talk about home, because it's ratchet as hell sometimes, but it's the best.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's all about me. You want to tell about you real quick, babe?
Yeah, my name is Kris Dillard. I work for a box store.
Not a literal box
not
store.
A literal box store, but it's None New Business Incorporated.
He works for he got a good corporate job.
Nothing wrong with a box store. Ain't nothing wrong with a box store.
Right.
Ain't no wrong with a box store. When we tell people you work at a box store, they think you work at a box store.
That's fine. That's their business that they need to figure out on their own at nighttime. I know where I work at. I too am a cubicle warrior. I do affordable housing for the city in Seattle. And what am I working on?
Just like, how did you figure out?
Yeah, I found y'all through Karlos. So whatever you listen to, Nurum said some off the wall shit, and I was like, these are my niggas.
As always, I've been like, Lord.
And I was like, you know what? I relate. Let me listen to this. I think this was right when y'all were.
They were about to sell their house.
Sell the house.
Yeah. About to sell your house.
And that
right before Desi.
Yeah, Daisy, that nigga.
That nigga. Where did he go?
That job, the marketing job, remember?
Oh, yeah.
That scheme, that sketchy.
Yeah. You was in scheme too, and they weren't paying you. And I told Naren, you was going through the same thing. Naren was like, I got to run to the bank. And Kris had to literally
run to the bank.
Because his paychecks used to bounce all the time.
It's working with a certain demographic of people.
Yes.
I won't say it, but a certain demographic, they money everywhere, but they don't be right. So
They don't.
No, I remember all the time. It'd be Friday and they'll be at the bank till at least 6 o'clock.
Yes, because because they call him.
Did that deposit come through yet?
Excuse me, you wrote a significant amount of money on a starter check. Is this right?
I kept asking, I'm like, why they still got starter checks?
I don't know, but I'm going
Why are you using check 1, 2, 3?
Or the fact when I went up there and his mama was in line talking about.
I remember that. I remember you called me. You was like, how much money we got? I said, we gonna make it.
I need you to approve this deposit because near me is here behind me trying to cash this check. Hell yeah.
Remember that episode and I had to go in the bathroom and laugh at work.
We was older, y'all. Shan, Niram literally had to like call me and be like, did our bills clear? Like, what's going on? I'm like, nigga, what? What do you mean is our bills clear? And then we literally looking at the checking account as it go in. That was a mess.
My bank used to look at me
I know they hated
crazy.
You.
Like, what are you, why are you coming here and depositing stacks of money?
Oh, when you took the cash?
Yeah, because I went to go cash it at their account because I ain't putting that shit in my bank account. Fuck no.
They thought you was selling dick.
Hey, in this day and age, I might need to.
Listen.
Shit.
Oh my goodness. Thank y'all. That was amazing. Can you see how we all vibe and just talk the intros and all that good stuff in there? So let's jump into some pillow talk. So before we get into the hot topics, we wanted to have time for y'all just to share, like, how was y'all holiday? Like, we know this year it should have been, maybe was slightly different. Was it different? How was it different? I know Niram and I, we kept it low key. But honestly, it wasn't that new for Niram or I. Like, I feel like every other holiday season, we rotate going back to Detroit or staying where we're at. Like when we go to Detroit, don't you feel like we just rip and run and we do all the things? But then we have holidays where it's just us, wherever city we located it, be it in California or white ass New England. But this year we just did that. But what I would say is like I let go some of the pressures. I really like the holiday season. Like I really first of all, I love Christmas because I love the Lord. That's separate. But I loved all the Mariah Careys. I love the Donny Hathaways. I love What Did the Lonely Do on Christmas.
No, what's that sad ass song by CeeLo? You always playing.
Oh, Mary, Did You Know?
Mary, Did You
Know? Mary, Did
That's
You Know?
That's a sad ass Christmas song.
I believe in all that. I believe in 12 days of cookies, all of that. But this year, I literally did I even do the tree? Only thing I did was play Christmas music on Pandora. And by giving myself that grace, it was good. Like it really was easy to get through. Like even food, we did a gumbo, was super low key. And now we was talking about our friends. We're just doing like some Kwanzaa celebration. And as you can tell, we always team too much. But literally, y'all, we get on the phone for 15 minutes or on the Zoom, 15 minutes, be like, all right, light your candle. What you grateful for? Harambe, see y'all later. Even just pulling back that, but still having a sense of community has been really, really nice for me. Did I miss anything on that, Niram? What you thinking?
No.
How was your holiday and transitioning off that?
Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
Don't say it like that. Your sister gonna be listening. What? It was amazing. Wow. Well, you had a lot of changes in your family, didn't you? You missed a lot of celebrations.
I did. So 2 of my nephews got engaged on Christmas.
Ooh, wow.
Like 2 of them. Like
unpopular opinion. I don't like engagements on Christmas or major holidays.
I don't like additional extracurricular stuff on holidays either.
I don't like it on holidays, nor I don't like engagements at other people's shit. Like, don't go to somebody else's wedding
to get engaged.
That's trash.
Fuck that. So, like, for one nephew, his daughter is actually born on Christmas.
Ooh, so that's a good story. Pin that for next year.
So he got a daughter born on Christmas. He like, hey, y'all, we gonna have a get together at our house, and then he gonna get engaged on Christmas. Yeah. So I know the little girl is just pissed.
Yeah, because it was her. Oh, that's true.
The little 8-year-old. She's like, it's my birthday, it's Christmas, and y'all getting engaged. I want a ring. Did you get me a ring too, Daddy?
No, she better sit down for that Elmo.
I want a hers and hers ring. No. I want to match godmama or stepmama.
No,
nothing.
Mama, you try. Miriam is petty. Don't you start putting that in her head.
What?
That's Cancer energy. What?
I'm for real.
She had a good Christmas too.
So, like, yeah, she got gifts and shit and Polly Pockets and all that bullshit.
Shout out to Polly Pockets.
Meanwhile, her stepmama got a ring.
A nice ring.
Engaged on her birthday. So, I know she a little heated. No. Yeah, I would be.
Of course.
Let me be 8 and then it's Christmas and my birthday and Daddy talking about he getting engaged. Fuck no, you better wait till day after Christmas.
Oh, Christmas Eve.
You better wait to Black Friday, New Year's or some shit.
You a hater.
Not on my birthday.
Okay, pass the mic.
This is my birthday party. Let's hop into Shan. Shan, how was your holiday?
My holiday was nice and quiet and laxed. No family at my house besides the ones that came out of me. Clean up the mess. You know what I'm saying? We had food.
Yes.
I cooked early and we just chilled. And then one of their daddies came to get his half of Christmas. I gladly gave him his child.
That is half a Christmas.
My Christmas was great, and I've been chilling ever since.
I love that. I
That's
love
what's
that.
Kris and Karlos, how was y'all holiday?
We did some white shit.
Yeah.
We had some friends from Florida come up. Oh, we're gonna get to them after it. But we
Okay.
had some friends from
Niggas
Florida come
quarantine?
up.
Yeah.
They did their COVID test though.
Yeah,
because
they did.
Floridians don't like to test.
No.
Yeah.
So they did their test. They were trying to get away from Florida because they were just tired of it. But they came up. We went snowmobiling.
You went snowmobiling.
That was fun. That was real
Mhm.
white.
That was very
That was
white.
real white.
How
We got
was it?
lost a
Did you
little
notice
bit.
how they served us? Niram and Iambi, we were the first niggas that, because you know what? I don't like to be on people of color time. Like I'm on white people time.
Exactly.
15
30 minutes early.
30 minutes early is on time.
Right.
On time is late.
Yeah, paperwork.
Nigga, you about to make me choke on my water. That's early as hell.
No, I know what you mean though.
You gotta go to
be-
the bathroom.
Yeah.
I might need something to eat real quick. You never
Right.
know. I just need some extra time. So
Yep.
we get there 30 minutes early. You know, we're the first people there. They're taking people out in like groups of like 5 or 6.
Mhm.
So we see all the white people get served, and then we get to where the jets or the snowmobiles are. Tell me why we were first in line, but they served every other white person.
Oh, sorry.
And then the thing is, that wouldn't have been a problem, but you eat at your time. So like
Yeah.
we literally got less time. And my black ass was like, listen, I just need to educate them about this. And Kris was like, come on, Karlos, we don't gotta educate
Just
black, we
come on.
don't gotta educate everybody all the time. So we did that, and what else did we do? We went on a boat ride.
We
in
went on a
Seattle.
boat ride to see Seattle from the water.
Okay.
What else did we do? Oh, we also got the gift of knowing you cannot trust anybody with a white mama.
Yeah, that's what we gonna say.
Yeah.
Our friend came up here and showed her white side.
Yeah, right. Her
Real
white
pure.
side came out real good.
She came up, and then because we were talking about leaving the snowmobile trip, and we were telling them about COVID because they're like, well, why is everything closed in Seattle? And we're like, because our governor loves us.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah.
Because I love my health.
And we were just in Florida 2 months ago, and everything was open.
Wide open.
Yeah.
Wide
Why they didn't give a fuck. As long
They
as you had
busted
money,
wide
it
open.
was
Yeah,
open.
Yeah.
So they came here and they were very confused about why everything was closed or really restricted, really very similar to
Mhm.
California. And they literally said like, oh, well, you know what? Survival of the fittest. I don't even know why it's a big deal. You know, that whole COVID conversation. you
Yeah.
get with
Yeah.
Mind you, my
White
aunt
shit.
just died from COVID, and we just went and buried her, and they knew we were there for that because we stayed at their house for that.
So long story short, we ended up having a 5-day day plan with them. They only saw us 2 of those 5 days. They ended up taking our mother-in-law suite for the 5 days. They didn't talk to us on Christmas Day. They literally left because they were
Mhm.
supposed to leave Christmas night. They left Christmas morning, didn't say goodbye. Went to the airport. I had a panic attack and ended up in the hospital.
What the fuck?
What?
Damn.
Because Nero, you
Listen,
know how we
dead
feel
ass.
when we feel abandoned. Like, you know,
Oh,
we
yeah.
answer things.
We were driving. He says, Christopher, I'm sleepy. Why am I sleepy, Christopher? And I was like, Halsey, it's been a long day. He's like, I'm sleepy. I'm going to sleep.
I
This is
think I
it.
freaked myself out. It was a little bit between I had been drinking for 3 days in a row. They had been stressing me out. And then they had just broken my heart. And I really thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah,
'cause
I couldn't be friends with them
my
no
chest
more.
Why
was
did
tight.
this just become Les Miserables?
we gonna get. We about to pray for you. But
But
no,
yeah, other than that, it was a great Christmas.
Yeah, we had some really nice gifts, but we just learned if the mama white, don't trust them.
If
Okay.
I'm right, it ain't right.
Right. Come on.
oh my goodness.
SJ5D, what's going on, baby? How was your holiday, man?
Yo, y'all cracking me. Y'all cracking me up over here. I did some real introvert shit. I ignored people.
Yeah.
I did like a group chat with my family. I watched that movie Soul, which was fucking good.
Wasn't
was good as
so
hell.
good.
Oh my God, that movie has so many deep, like spiritual messages.
Right?
Yeah. I did like some shadow work, some needed shadow work just to kind of get myself prepared for 2021. I did some
That shadow work
gold.
ain't nothing to play with. That
Yeah,
shadow work.
nothing to play with, man, for real. I did some journaling. Did some like goal setting for 2021. Went out and watched the Jupiter and Saturn alignment.
Oh, what was
You
your
know?
superpower?
Oh my god.
Yeah, just really like weird introvert shit. Nothing too spectacular. I kind of kept it low key. Stayed in the house.
Did your superpower activate? Because I'm still waiting on mine. Mine must be on CP.
Wanted to create a podcast just to see if people got superpowers. I said, nigga, that's a pretend. There's no superpower.
Where's my fucking superpower?
Just you. Look at you. Oh my goodness. Stay on track. Come on. God damn, ain't no superpower.
Where's my
I'm going outside on the patio walking Mabel. I said, what are you doing?
I'm waiting on my superpower.
I literally told him a black woman made that up on Twitter. It spread.
They say believe black woman. So I'm trying to believe her ass.
Wait.
I'm trying to believe her ass and get my superpower. See, this is what happened when black men start believing black women and you expecting your superpower and you don't get it. Now you all mad.
No.
Now all black women's word is questionable.
Be
for
careful.
2021.
Be careful. You treading lightly.
This is why I fuck with Nero.
Tread lightly. You about to go down the wrong path like Superwoman 84. Be careful. Be careful.
So let's hop into some.
Thank you. Come on, Nero. Hot topics.
Well, let's hop into some hot topics, right?
Yeah.
So, we had a lot of things going on this year. 2020 was a hot mess. We had COVID, we had the elections and everything else. Like, let's just start from the jump. Like, COVID for me, I was supposed to be doing big things this year. Your boys will be traveling around the world and all this other good stuff. So COVID put a halt on that. But as far as like other things, like it kind of turned into a pandemic for me. So like my business has done the best this ever did in like COVID. So like what and other than that, like trying to learn how to work with Nyambi in this, 1 bedroom plus den apartment.
Don't do that.
Nyambi be talking loud.
I do
during meetings.
Yeah.
Nigga can't focus. So like
as a black woman in corporate, I got to talk very clearly every time I come on the screen. I want attention.
Hello, Martha. I just want to talk to you about, I don't know if you've seen the black man die, but I think we need to hold space for him. So let's have a moment of silence.
But I do tell them every time.
Martha, what you said was racist. You just read that book about anti-racism.
I don't call people racist. I said the action was racist.
Your action was racist.
Do you acknowledge that?
Hold them accountable.
Yeah.
So COVID has been a time of like learning and like just trying to interact with my significant other during all this. Like, how was COVID for y'all? How did it impact you? How did it impact your community? Let's start off with Sir Jeffrey. How was COVID for you, buddy?
Man, COVID for me was is actually I came up during COVID. I feel like it's important if you have businesses, you have to learn how to pivot. You have to learn how to maneuver throughout bad times because, if I can recall, this is actually our first pandemic that we had to deal with in our lifetime. So a lot of us are really, learning how strong we are, learning, our ability to adapt and change. So for me, it was, coming straight out of school to, moving to California and kind of, marking some things off my to-do list and, starting like my LLC. And really just kind of getting into what my power is, right? Like getting into what, who am I now that I'm outside of academia? Like who am I? How do I want to make my money? Do I actually want to use this degree or do I want to, venture off and go off and do something that I love? So, for me, just kind of moving during the height of the pandemic to California, that was a challenge in itself, going from New York. Then I went to Atlanta for like 2 months. Then I came to California. So that traveling process in Atlanta, I was staying in a hotel for the 2 months I was there because I didn't want to get like a apartment or anything. So that was kind of costly, but it was worth it because I was able to do some production stuff while I was there, was able to see my family. Mm-hmm. And throughout this whole process, I was able to put everything that I was working out on a board and see like what's serving me, what's no longer serving me, just kind of reshaping who I think that I am and what I think that I love. So COVID really pushed me to really become like my best self, to be honest.
That's what's up. Shan, how was COVID for you?
Man, COVID. Okay, for me, COVID's hit me in April because both of my kids been with me since April nonstop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you spend all this time carrying these kids and now they witchy. And the virtual school has been like, okay, how can I turn this into something good? The online shops for the podcast, how can I update, the merch? How can I revamp, these seasons coming up, and who can I collab with? So it's been a lot of, okay, let me go ahead and invest in having an account with Zoom so I can record with people. Let me figure out a way to help parents who don't know how to homeschool, basically, is what we're doing, their kids while they're, at home. And I just feel like white, wealthy people are
Mabel agrees too.
are poison to the world because they create killer viruses for personal agendas. And then we have a government that is not working for the people, is working for corporations. Mm-hmm. And every other country is showing how better they are compared to the US. And we are the biggest joke to every country and continent in this world, where we like to boast and say, oh, US is the greatest and we're this. And we're showing examples that we're not.
Right.
Consistently. When you have a country that's, praying and watching, the US election and praying for its citizens, something is messed up.
Come on.
And if this year was not the epitome of fuck that job, because that job don't fuck about you, what you gonna do, I don't know what the green light is going to be for people who have an idea, who had the time all this year to focus in on that idea, to start that business, to take the money that they were giving us at a certain time and put it into something and invest in themselves. I don't know what people are doing. How do you wake up every day and not have a plan? So for me, it really was a push to plan, to come through for yourself, to collab, to speak up, and to show up. And that's what COVID was for me. I flipped the negativity into something positive. I prayed before the COVID shit and I said, God, do whatever you need to do to get me out of this goddamn job. Mm-hmm. And I say he came through, was like, okay, you're going to be at home with your kids and you ain't got to be around people because you're not a people person. And you're going to figure out a way to still fund your life, move into a new house, get shit done. And that's what happened for me. And then you have your old job that call you out the blue, offering you more money than when you left, and you get to work remote for the next 6 months. Listen, it's a blessing over here.
Come on.
It's a blessing over here. So it was something good for me. It was something that came through for me when it needed to come through.
That's what's up.
I love that. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes. Kris and Karlos, how was COVID for y'all?
So when COVID hit, it didn't really change our lives because we're dinks, dual income, no kids.
Right.
So I had no kids in my face every day. Shan, I'm sorry. I could not deal with that.
Don't got it at all.
You have to go somewhere out of my household for at least 8 hours a day, COVID or no COVID, get some education. But more so the change came for Karlos.
Yeah. Like I said, I wrote a book. I wrote a book that came out January last year, literally. And then I had a book tour, a 6-city book tour planned. And my first book tour is March 16th. And I think we locked down on the 18th, or like the 17th. So I got to do one book tour. And it was really hard because like Sir Jeffrey says, as a creative, you have to have multiple revenues of income, especially if you want to be successful. So I had already had like a t-shirt line that I came out with. And what else, my book. And then when the masks started being like, nobody had masks, I knew how to make masks. So I started selling masks off my website, made a little bit of money off selling masks, custom masks that were super cool. But yeah, it was just literally just like being a nigga, just like it ain't changed. Like
it ain't changed. I mean, we've been home in other ways.
we was home and hustling before, and that's what my career was as a creative, was to create different streams of income and hustle. I just had to get a little bit more creative. Being in COVID has given me the opportunity to have sight on things that are important to me. Foster care is very important to me, and this time, I've been able to start a foundation called the Sense of Self Foundation, where we give kids toiletries, tampon, feminine items to help them through, because people don't realize, okay, we're all broke during COVID. Guess who really aren't getting taken care of? Like if you don't have things for your normal kids who are your blood, guess who's not getting the normal things that they already weren't getting before COVID? So I've really just taken my attention and just really focused on foster care. And I took it to TikTok, and TikTok just like blew up. And now we're helping kids in Philadelphia and Seattle and New York and LA. And we're working with other organizations to get kids hygienic needs, and just using my social media platform to do this. And so that's kind of what I focus on. Like COVID really sucked at first, but now it's really kind of given me an opportunity and a look back on like what's important to me, and also like what I can do to make sure that my family survives. Like Sir Jeffrey says, like this is our first pandemic. Like you don't know. And now I know,
SARS and like bird flu and mad cow disease didn't count.
No, those weren't a pandemic. They were just sicknesses. So yeah.
And low key, we're gonna get another pandemic. Like this one, it feels like he's whispering for a year. Like I feel like we're gonna be in our 50s or 60s. Like we've done this before.
Right.
But yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't too horrible. It wasn't like, we're just blessed. Like I said, Kris and I are just blessed to be dinks. To be in Seattle, in a city that is very tech based, and we're very blessed.
So where did you find joy?
Yeah.
Where do I find joy?
Yeah.
I find joy that we're still together and I haven't killed you yet.
Hey, someone has a testimony.
It's literally couples who ain't make it. It is couples, families who ain't make it.
Oh, y'all got a den.
We have a loft.
We're in a loft, bro.
Oh my God.
All the time.
So there have been times where Kris first job knows that they're gonna hear me curse. Just because I've cussed them bitches out. I was like, listen, this is my motherfucking house.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm sorry about him. I'm gonna go to the next room. It's okay.
The next room is the bathroom, nigga. Like that's where you go.
Close the door, put the towel down. I got my headphones in, and we good. Continue the meeting.
Kris talked about some, you need to be quiet at work. I was like, these motherfuckers don't pay no bills in here. And Kris like, actually, they do. I'm like,
Neil get on me all the time. Your boss and employees be knowing my voice all the time. So I'm like, I'm not calming the fuck down. Get out of here. Ain't it a white woman? I'm not doing that. Forget it. This is my talking voice.
I pays the cost to be the boss.
Real quick. Kris be having meetings. They be having meetings, and his company it's a very white company, but they're very much like, we're trying to be Black Lives Matter, and they gave them time off of work and everything.
Yeah.
So last week they did a sweep in Seattle where they swept out our houseless people out of this camp. And I heard them during this meeting, and I couldn't hold it. Because they were just talking bullshit. I said, excuse me. This is where you're wrong. They're like, who's speaking? I was like, this is Kris's husband.
They gonna get learned today. Oh my goodness, I love that.
Yeah, man. Oh my God, it was a lot going on. So COVID is definitely a big thing that happened. I would say the next thing was this punk ass election.
All the elections.
It's
still going.
Our politics in America is a shit show.
It's so embarrassing.
Trump being impeached, his ass still acting the fool to these punk ass elections, to his ass not even want to step down, or what is it called, concede.
Nigga, he just being a white man. It's something about Donald Trump that, of course, on the surface can't stand him. Mm-hmm. But I can't lie. It's just sometimes at night I be looking at him like, damn, he can just do what the fuck he wants to do.
Because he a white man.
Like, God, like what does it mean to move through a world where you be like, your feelings, fuck it. The rules, I don't give a damn.
I don't care.
Jail, I ain't scared, nigga. Like, what is it to just go through life so just lacks a fuck?
And be a white man.
Just to do that. Like what, he wasn't on my list for lunch, right? You know how some people gonna have lunch. He's not on that list. He's the person that I want to have like an edible with in like some Hennessy, just to be like, nigga, is this really you? Like, do you just like don't fuck with people? Like, what the fuck was you thinking? Like, I really want to read his book. Like, I want to read his memoir of being the fucking president, because it's just some shit that I'm like, wow.
It's all gonna be lies anyway. He just
it's just gonna be like, what is that movie, The Burn Book? When the girls be writing all the fake stuff. I forgot what movie that was, but he just gonna be writing the fuck he wanna write. I'm just fascinated.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls, The Burn Book. It's just gonna be what the fuck he wanna write. And he's snitching on all his white friends. It is about to be some white on white crime. And I cannot wait for it to pop off. Go ahead. What y'all gonna say?
You have to check people like that at the beginning, because The way that he is a snowball of never being checked.
Never in his life. I imagine from a child. Like I imagine him being 2, tearing up shit. And I don't know what his mama name. I'm assuming a white woman, Martha Candace, something like that. Never said
Mary Trump.
I have to say, Miriam and Ayamba, did you guys watch his conference about the COVID relief bill?
No.
What did he do? I haven't watched.
He actually was the president.
Right.
He
Yeah,
actually
made sense.
He actually, in that 15 minutes, I was like, nigga, because he was just like, Congress should not go on recess right now. We need to give everybody $2,000, not $600.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
This is what it feels like to be gaslit.
Yeah, this is what it feels like to be gaslit.
This is trauma.
Because I was surprised when he even came back and was like, "Oh no, this is not enough money." And I was like, "Who says that?" I'm Portia. Who said that? Is this nigga playing with us? Like, what is going on? It was just, and I also think because I feel like we the babies of Obama, right? I feel like, was it the second time I voted? I think it was for Obama. Yeah, I think when I first was able to vote, it was just like local elections, like primary stuff. I did that. That was exciting. But like my first major election was Obama.
Oh, you didn't do the first? Oh, yeah.
No, I did the first Obama, but I'm talking about before that. So I was eligible to vote a couple years before that, but it was just like primary or like what's the mid
midterm election.
Yeah, midterm elections. But the major one was Obama. So coming off being an Obama baby, then going into Trump, I was like, what the fuck is?
You OD'd off hope.
I don't. Shut up. Did you say we OD'd off hope?
Yes.
So he had that's on his book now, all 100 hours. Sorry, go ahead, y'all.
Other than that, my ass is out here trying to plan to go to fucking Philly and fight for our damn democracy.
And you almost got kicked out the house.
Getting fucking while I'm in the Uber talking about, hey, bro, I got some bad news. Oh, what's going on? Apparently, I got COVID. Apparently, nigga, what?
I still ain't talking to that nigga. Let the other people talk to you. You're talking too much. What y'all thoughts on the elections or just the whole everything that's been happening? Whoever want to come on, feel free.
I feel like they should drag his ass out that house like a black woman. Like, I want to see it because he's just a sorry loser. Like, he basically held the citizens hostage on not signing that bill or something about it for a long time.
That's true. That's true. And people couldn't make it off this 1,200. Like, I don't know how.
It was $167 per. That's what we got every month for the last year. That's all.
If you think about it, they're trying to give us 600, and initially they gave us 1,200. If you divide that by 365, that's only $6.52 a day. That's what they're saying we're worth.
It's horrible.
But they also said that you could feed kids in Africa off of 37 cents a day.
I'm trying to be like them. Like, who are they connected
to? Who's providing them the money?
Because for 25 cents a day, you can get housing. That's where I'm trying to go towards.
Right.
You can't get nothing out here. It was.
But you can buy Detroit. You can buy a house in Detroit for $1,000.
Listen, we tried to buy a house in Seattle. They wanted $600,000 from us for a 600 square foot house.
I laughed.
Fuck out of there.
A mess.
Absolutely. I think what I'm mostly excited for is y'all say y'all want to hear like Trump and have edible with Trump. I'm trying to have a glass, like a mimosa with who's the wife?
Melania.
That
bitch got a story to tell.
She has a story.
She has a story.
I want to talk to her. Yeah. She's gonna be
like, we're talking about Ivanka.
I didn't want any of this.
I didn't want any of this.
He came to my country.
He came to my country.
And kidnapped.
And I was a whore.
I was a whore.
He kidnapped me. And here I am, the first lady
of the United States of America.
Is that right? Is that the right accent?
You're going ahead.
Okay.
I've never really heard her talk much. She just got.
I'm trying to make it up as I go, so I don't know.
She talks like a female Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Hello, I am.
Let me get myself together.
Sayonara.
But I am Ivanka. Wait, is Ivanka the daughter of Melania?
I don't know. He's trying to.
Ivanka's the daughter.
Okay, so why we confused both of them?
I'm so confused because he always talking about how he want to fuck Ivanka.
That's problematic white shit. Yeah.
He wants to sit on his lap. I mean,
madness. But I can't wait for him to get out of there. We got Joe coming on in there, and we gonna have our ass right. Joe gonna have his problems too, but hopefully it's different problems. I'm hoping Kamala, as my mama call her, Kamalisa, go in there and and help it out. But I am ready for Trump to get on up out of there, and I'm ready for us to have a different set of problems. Like these problems that Trump brought us, I'm not interested in them at all. I'm ready to do.
I'm just regular for the regular racism.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Call me a nigger behind closed doors.
Behind
know.
closed doors.
Not to my face.
The only thing I'm not a Trump supporter or I'm not a Biden supporter. I dislike both options, right?
Mhm.
But I'm a person that goes off of receipts. And I can't say for somebody who is targeted as a racist, he sure did help a lot of fucking Black people and, implemented a lot of new kind of rules to protect like Black communities. So I'm like, why did he free a lot of Black people from prison and give them immunity if he hates Black people? At least if he is, I think that he's shown to be racist, but he's upfront with it. Biden, you have to go back and do some real dig deep into pull up all the racist shit that he said. It's more covert with him. And I would rather somebody who's upfront with it, like, I don't like these niggas, cool, we know where you stand, versus Biden, who would actually like implement laws to hinder our progression, and we don't know that we're being gaslit.
So I think what you're saying, Jeffrey, is that you prefer like in your face racism than overt racism. As a person who have had both, I've grown up in Florida. I went to college in Florida where we have KKK rallies and they let you know, like, nigger, you're not supposed to be over here. I can appreciate where you like saying like, hey, I'd rather know where you stand and just be like, know it with rather than when we live in Seattle, you can live next to a white supremacist who literally is the grand master and never know it until now you're almost dead.
Right.
So I can appreciate that. The only thing that I would just say is just like, who did he help? Because you releasing niggas from prison doesn't mean that you still didn't grab women by the pussy. Does not mean that you still didn't have kids in cages. Does not mean that you still enacted attacks on Asian Americans, saying that it's the Wuhan
virus
or China virus.
Wu-Tang.
Okay, so to piggyback off of what you just said, first you said that the kids in the camp. The kids in the concentration camp, that was actually done by the Obama administration before they left.
Not at the extent where we were losing them and not being able to put them back with their parents. Yeah. So
Still,
I agree with you. We did have internment camps, but we weren't separating them.
It was also done by the Obama administration, but continued by the Trump administration.
So I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, it's just like everything he did, he didn't. What you're saying is that he wasn't racist towards Black folks. I think that's the emphasis of your comment, and I agree with you.
He wasn't.
He didn't come out and be like,
explicitly racist towards Black folks,
but he fucked up everybody else.
Yeah,
everybody else he fucked up.
Yeah.
So I
like
agree
he really confuses me, because before he was even president, this nigga was hanging out with P. Diddy, Mike Tyson, like in the clubs with hella Black people. So I'm actually like really confused by him. I think it's just him being a Gemini.
As a person being in LA and as an actor, you should just know that's networking.
Yeah,
I hang
that's
out.
How you get your check.
I hang out with some of the most racist people in Seattle, and guess what? They hire me because that's how you get that coin. So I think him and his relationships with people he had before he was president, that's just him being an entertainer.
Yeah. And I think it's just all like strategic, right? He touts himself as being this deal maker, this I don't know, all-seeing eye type of figure where he feels like he can be in all types of things, but that's all comes said and done. Like all the shit is fucked up. Politics in general, right?
Just the idea of truly politicking, right? Because I think when we think of Joe Biden, like he's the epitome of a politician.
Yeah, because this nigga politic too.
He's been politicking since day one. Like that has been his job, and how do we navigate it too? And even as my mom said, Kamalisa too, she grew up in that system too. So like, what are the long-term implications of that?
And you can't be untouched. You can't be untouched if you're in politics.
White, you don't trust them.
Well, the thing is, you can't be untouched. So when people say, "Oh, Joe Biden did this and Kamala did that,"
Kamala was there. Okay,
they've been there forever.
Biden was there with the whole Hillary administration calling it super predators, but they didn't play his playbacks from this election. They knew they needed him to win.
But fuck it all. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior.
They put us all in jail.
But not all of us. Like you can look at his future behavior. We don't got no best predictor.
Joe Biden,
there is no past behavior.
His mind ain't good.
That's a fact. And Joe Biden, he was the person who made the 3-strike law. If you think about it, half of the male population, the Black male population, is in prison because of Joe Biden, who wrote the law for the 3-strike act.
With Bill Clinton, who passed it.
Bill Clinton.
Didn't Bill Clinton pass that bill?
Yeah.
Bill Clinton passed it and Joe Biden wrote it. And Joe Biden was the same person that said he doesn't want his white kids in a school with Black kids. in the jungle. Like Joe Biden he has a real fucked up past that, you know, he does a real good job of hiding. But I don't want somebody in the White House who is known for creating laws to hinder Black progression.
What we're hoping for, Jeffrey. So Jeffrey,
though.
we just trying. Listen, I take that Black woman over him. So we just hoping that we get through the inauguration and H does his thing.
I think when it's all said and done, like I just hope that like this leads to a further stepping stone in the right direction. Both of them got all of them got their fucking flaws, because politics and here at least it's fucking flawed, right?
It's corrupt.
It's
not
all
flawed.
corrupt. Yeah, corrupt and flawed, right? So I just hope it just leads to the right direction, right? So like let's move on though. Like let's talk about like the culture.
Just Black thing.
Like some of the Black fuck shit. Or just like
you gotta be fuck. Why are you doing that to us? Come on, Joe Biden.
But like let's talk about the culture, right? Like what has brought us together? You know, we had BLM, we had Versus, like what are some of the things in the culture you've enjoyed?
Can I start off?
Sure.
One thing that really brought me I'll be honest, I'm Black, I'm gay. I experienced some homophobia in our own community. But when I did that Karen video, I've never had so many niggas be like, get that bitch.
Tear her up.
It's the lavender.
Get that bitch.
It's the
like
lavender.
For me this year, it was the Karens that brought the niggas together, because we were just like, yep, get them. So I mean,
they themselves at the altar. Like they just keep coming and coming. I totally agree.
Right.
So for me, culture was just like, I love the camaraderie. Like, even if you didn't know people, like I got thousands of DMs and messages being like, listen, I'm so proud that you stood up, because I'm so tired of these motherfuckers. Like, we need to start standing up. So like that camaraderie in the community against Karens was just like, yes, Black folks.
And I looked at the video. I said, Naomi, I think I know this nigga.
I said that we know them. I said, make sure he's okay. Make sure he's okay. That's what I said.
You guys sent me a message that day. You're like, hey, bro, you okay?
We had to make sure you weren't in the jail nowhere. We had to get some money. Like we was ready. We was ready to activate like Power Rangers.
How powerful are a white woman's tears in 2020?
Oh,
they're like
they weaponized. That's it.
They are weaponized. Like if you just take a shot of white woman's tears, you are the next Superman.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Absolutely. Shan, what say you? What was in the culture?
Together, I would say riots in other countries rioting, because we're dealing with so much hate and just dismissiveness. And Versus the music, like everybody got glued to their screens and, you know, listening to throwbacks and watching Bounty Killer and Beanie Man. And
oh my God, I thought I was Jamaican.
Like that was hilarious to me. And it's just like watching Black people prosper despite racism this year. All the Black new businesses that popped up, I loved it. All the women coming together, I love it. All the men figuring out a way to push their music, get together, feed their families, just come together on some just low key, despite what's going on, let's see what we can do to get together. Black businesses here in Atlanta pitching in and putting money together to get the homeless sleeping bags. Like things like that is what I enjoyed this year. I did a lot of crying this year for shit that ain't got shit to do with me. So that's what really brought us together. And just spending time with my kids and actually getting to see their personalities and seeing what they actually need from me. And seeing what I need from them and just having that downtime. I think a lot of people needed a break.
How many ass whoopings you gave out this during COVID?
You're gonna find joy. You're gonna find joy in the ass whooping.
You know,
the leathers were, you know, all around this house. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
That's what's up.
You call them a leathering?
The leather.
Bring it here. You know what you're gonna eat tonight? Some leather. Bring that.
Oh wow.
There was some joy in that statement.
Yes.
Miriam and Shan don't play.
Hey Shan, real quick. I know that you said that it brought you and your kids together. Do you appreciate the pandemic for that you actually see more of their personality, like more of who they are as little people? Or do you think that had it still been like them going to school Monday through Friday, you see them like 6 hours, 7 hours a day? Do you still think that you would have seen their personalities as well, as much as you saw them now?
I feel like I appreciate the pandemic and the COVID for allowing me to have that time with them and be able to pour into them, because now it's kind of like, yes, you go to work, your kids have to go to camp or daycare or school, but are they actually feeding your kids mentally in school? Now, like through this whole pandemic, I was in control of that. So I had to make sure that I'm teaching my 3-year-old, her name, her phone number, her address, who she
know how to balance a checkbook yet?
Not yet. I taught my 7-year-old how to write and put her address on an envelope. I know she's not going to learn that in school. So it was like another level of learning. I can see hands-on what she needs and not just be like, oh yeah, I send my kid to school, but I don't know what the teachers are teaching them. So I got that insight. So I do appreciate that, because I always feel guilty dropping my kids off to go to a daycare or to go to school, because I know they're not getting what they need. I did appreciate the fact that I was in control of that.
I love that.
Facts. Jeff, what you got, man?
Shit, I done forgot the question.
Just like a nigga.
Each other. I done forgot
Just
we
like
on
a
the
nigga.
podcast. We just talking.
We just shooting the shit.
Shit. Yo, for real though, like during this whole pandemic, man, the thing that really has been, I feel like, been bringing Black people together is it's our need for an uprising. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been shitted on, beat up for so long, and now we finally get a chance to go out and beat some white ass. Like I really think that a lot of Black people found joy in that. Me as well. Like just going like I was marching in Union Square when the riots first started, and we were being chased by the police, and just like locking arms with my Black brothers and sisters. Like it was a real joy in that to know that you are going to be part of the history books, like you on the right side of history. Besides that, watching Versus, watching Gucci just disrespect Jeezy, and Jeezy kind of keep his composure, and like just a lot of those Black milestone moments that I think we all can really appreciate,
Right.
Question.
What's up?
Is Versus only Black based? Because why haven't we had a Carrie Underwood versus like somebody?
It is.
No, this our shit. This Black shit.
Okay.
This is
I didn't know if it was our
It is-
shit.
With a Z.
The whites will take it over soon, but it's just
Okay. I was like, we gonna see this on Country Music Awards
But
somewhere.
also, I'm really mad that we didn't see Ashanti scoot across the stage with Keisha Cole.
They were supposed to reschedule. Did
But
she
she
ever?
had COVID or some shit.
Again?
Yeah, it's
I don't
rescheduled
know.
instead of January.
Shanti was like, I don't know how I got COVID. I just got back from traveling around the world.
Bitch
Sis,
just got back from Bora Bora.
I just got back from Tulum. There's no COVID in Tulum.
So let's move over to the bingeables, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what favorite TV shows, books, and things that
What got
has
y'all
keeping you
through?
entertained?
What's y'all recommendations?
Shan, let's start with you.
Ooh, okay. I just got Girl. That novel by Kenya Hunt.
I heard of that.
I'm still reading Britain's Black Debt because that's a thick read. A Million and One Things is a very messy ass show with white people. Ain't no way you about to fuck my dead best friend's wife and have a baby and pass it off like, oh, it's cool. Like, what the hell? The Undoing was good, but it was too short. I fucking bawled tears when I watched 40 Years a Slave. Y'all have to watch that. Them people in Philadelphia.
Was it 40 years or was it 12 years?
40, that's your whole life, baby.
I think it's
That's a secret.
12 years,
40?
12 years
I
a slave.
think it was 12, but bitch, 40 is a long, that's a lifetime.
40 Years a Slave is basically all the Black people that was involved in that movement in Philadelphia that got time for 40 plus years.
Okay.
So those are different things. So one is
I just looked it up. You educated me. Thank you so
Is it
much.
40
Shan.
years
Yeah.
of prison?
I
or
have
40
to
years of
watch
slave?
that. I'm gonna be angry at white people for a couple of days, but you have to watch it. Talk is Talk Pod. I've been listening to. That's very funny, but it's realistic. 1619. Finished up with that, And Black on Purpose is a good podcast. David Banner's podcast. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, I've been just in here just getting all my knowledge from people.
I love that shit. I literally was trying to write all these down. We had to put these in the show notes. I didn't know about the 40. Is it called 40 years?
Yep, it sure is, Nyambi. You can get it on the historychannel.com. You can watch it for free because I'm watching it right tonight.
That's why I said I didn't know about that because my mama went up to 12 Years of Slave movies. What did she call it? 12 Years of Nigga Books, because that was the same year that the book of Negroes or the book of names came out, and my mom was trying to be sweet. She was like, Nyambi, I know you love this. I recorded 12 Years of Nigga Books for you. I was like, what? What was she say? 12 Years of Niggas? What?
Yeah, 12 Years of Nigga Books.
I was like, I don't know the name of it.
And then Niram, you a big nigga.
You bitch. My mom trying to educate. Like,
you worth a lot of
money. Did you know that? I was like, Ma, please, you upholding white supremacy.
I mean, yeah, Niram, you can run marathons and shit. They got the money on you.
He
has value.
I love that shit. And I literally was typing all this stuff down. We got to put some of this in the show notes for folks. Thank you, Shan.
Right. Jeff, Benjables, man.
What got you through?
What been getting you through? Oh shit! You stopped by the police.
Yeah, put it on if you is.
If you stop by the police,
there you go.
For me, I'll name like 5 books that really got me through.
Mm-hmm.
And Shan, that show, The Undoing, man, that was. If you want to see a show with really like phenomenal acting, you need to watch The Undoing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Nicole Kidman is in her bag right now.
Yeah, she did that.
Big Little Lies, The Undoing, and she's doing that one other show I can't remember right now. But yeah, she's in her bag. But 5 books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You know, I had to read that again. $100 Startup is a great book if you into being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, The 4 Agreements is just like a life mantra book to live by. The Alchemist is one of my favorites, and The Celestine Prophecy. Those are all kind of books that really helped me like to stay grounded this year.
Oh my God, that's so good. Thank you.
Kris and Karlos. What y'all been binging? You gotta unmute yourself.
On love.
Let me correct myself. It's 40 Years a Prisoner.
Look,
Okay.
40 Years a Slave.
There's also 40 Years a Slave, which I thought was kind of
There is
excessive,
also a
but
40 Years a Slave on the History Channel.
Yeah,
that's
40
a long time to be a slave. Like, baby, you ain't try to run away not once.
Well, it
Harry
was
ain't come
something
get
I
you,
watched.
baby. It's okay.
Did y'all? I forgot what channel was on, but it was about the people. I think was in the Mississippi who the folks who didn't realize like slavery ended, and it was like
And it was in
Yeah.
1960, and there was a whole
Yeah, that was Mississippi. Yeah.
I just cried and like I couldn't even do nothing, but I just looked
Did
at it.
y'all
and
see
cried.
Antebellum?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
I watched it 3 times. So I didn't get it the first time,
Listen,
and I didn't get it the second time, but 3 times y'all was still slaves. Like, baby, it's 2020. It's 2019.
When you watch Antebellum, it makes you think about all the Black women that go missing that get no foot.
Mhm.
And you know what gave away for me when he said cracker ass cracker?
I was like, since when
That
did
is
he
a-
with crackers?
That's
And you knew he was cracking the whip while he was cracking the whip.
right.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
Kris and Karlos, what have y'all been binging?
So I'll start. So there are a couple books I've been reading. They all pertain to foster care because if y'all know me, you know I love me some foster care facts. So the first one's by they're actually both by Black women. The first one's called Labeled Ward of the State. It's by Kenesha E. Anthony. The only reason I know this book is because when I was publishing my book, Ward of the State, I remember our foster care, like my publisher was like, oh, we're having to fight this person. I was like, let me read their story too. So we actually ended up being friends over us having to negotiate how we were going to name our books because we both wanted the same name. I read the book. Her book is amazing. Another book is A Suitcase and a Dream by Brittany Sherrell. This is also another Black woman. I believe she's out of Memphis. And she tells her foster care story. I think it's very important for us to all get as many foster care experiences because we're not a monolith and we all had different experiences. And the more that we learn about foster care, the better we can be in society. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm never going to be a foster parent. I don't need to learn about foster kids. Are you going to be in a managerial position? Are you going to work in a corporation? Are you going to walk around the city? You're going to interact and communicate with foster kids because there are about 450,000 of us a year in foster care. So you're going to work with them. So I always just suggest people read books about foster care and get different experiences from different kids because everyone had a different experience. So those were the books that we were reading this year.
And then we've been watching Lovecraft Country, although it did kind of end really, really white.
Yeah.
I don't like the ending.
I didn't like the ending.
I didn't like the ending. It was like too.
It was
Spoiler
like that
alert.
bitch.
White woman
she
comes,
needed
saves
to.
the
She
day,
needed to
chokes the
die.
bitch out. Yeah.
She needed to
Yeah.
die a more horrible death.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
What else have we been watching?
No. Our number one was Law and Order.
Okay.
SVU.
Season 22.
Episode 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Full circle.
If y'all ain't watched
Olivia
it,
Benson is racist.
Yeah.
I will come to the altar with that.
Yes.
Taylor could kiss my ass.
he's racist as well.
He's racist as well.
Toxic masculinity.
Right.
Toxic. When they
I
using
feel
eyes.
sick with
And then here's the thing.
Amaro.
Ice Cube, Tutuola.
Tutuola is a coon.
He a coon.
He's a coon.
Yeah.
Also, he has a white mama. Going back to what I said, you don't trust bitches with white mamas.
And that's all we got.
Yeah, Law and Order. After you watch it a few times, you're like, what the hell is going on in here? What is this right? And I completely agree with y'all. What's been some of your bingeables, Nero? What's your stuff?
Of course, Lovecraft. Right now, I'm fully into Your Honor.
Oh, Your Honor is so good.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as
For
pods,
life.
For Life. Have y'all seen For Life?
Miriam, that's his favorite show. I have moments because when that man start talking like Denzel Washington, it's like his
He needs to put
hated.
his shoulders down. That's all I'm saying.
He needs to put his shoulders
His
down.
shoulders need to come down. That's it.
Like when he get to talking, I'm like, is it Denzel? Like I close my eyes. I'm like, I've heard this voice before, but I do like it.
For Life is another one. And other than that, tons of reading. So many books. I didn't almost forgot most of them. I'm reading a therapist got me reading a book on self-compassion and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Don't say it like it's a punishment. Say it with joy.
Right.
My therapist
enthusiasm.
got me reading a book on self-compassion.
There you go.
That still sounds like a punishment.
It is. Other than that, listening to Barack Obama's 100 hours worth of book. I'm only 20 hours in, and I feel like that book would never end.
It ain't. He got part 2, honey.
He got part 2.
Barack Obama's an uncle with plenty of stories. You be like, I gotta go to bed.
Right.
Other than that, just a bunch of other books about persistence.
Mhm.
So I read a book called The Obstacle is the Way. I'm reading a book also about grit. It's called Grit, the Power of Persistence and Perseverance. So like those are some of the things that I'm into. What about you, Beck?
So I read a lot of books and they were interesting, but I think what really got me through 2 things was I was rereading all the Toni Morrison books. So it was just nice just to immerse myself in just Blackness in like worlds where only Black people existed. And don't get me wrong, sometimes Toni, with Beloved and Blue as Eyes, you're like, Jesus. But there's also good keys like Sula, right? When they messing around with like men and all that type of stuff. So that really brought me joy. And it just felt comfortable to read something I read before. But low key, what has got me through and like a bingeable for me is literally have been walking and moving my body. So y'all know I've been trying to like get it right, get it tight, and find joy in like physical activity because I traditionally don't. But it's something about when me and my little black dog, we get out and we get to start walking. And it really has been a way for me to like move my body and move my thoughts because I'm sure y'all can tell. I be getting in my head. I be having whole ass conversations. I be trying to think about the next step on the left and the right. But walking really has freed me up. And we lucky because we in California, right? But it don't matter the weather. Like just being out there, Mabel ain't saying shit. She just sniffing trees and shit. And it really has been such a release. Because sometimes when you walk with people, they want to talk. I'm like, ain't no talking. And I'm like, oh, maybe you want to sniff the tree? Go ahead, sniff the tree, baby. But it's just, that has been so helpful for me to kind of get through this COVID because it's kind of created a routine for me. And just moving my body has then led me to my mind freeing up a little bit because some days, child, when I tell you about that spinning and that COVID and, I've been so thankful to have such a strong support system, but some folks around me, it's been a rough one. Like we had a friend who had like suicidal thoughts and like, it's been rough. And I was like, I just got to move. Like, I just need to move my body and this energy. And that's been so helpful for me.
Yeah.
Have you read A Day Late and a Dollar Short or listened to it?
Yes. So good.
That was my book.
That was our shit.
So good. It's something about just leaning into it, right? Like just leaning into like these books that feel like warm hugs. Like that's what I've been finding joy about. And I think going into 2021, like I think I'm back on like, all right, like how can I engage? Let me learn some stuff. Let me do some other stuff. It's been super, super good. I love that now. Now let's get into a little more personal stuff, y'all. Like
Because Naomi want to get in your business.
I don't like to get in business, but I love to unpack. Like I love to unpack and reflect. And so what I'm thinking of is 2 things before we kind of begin to wrap up is like, what lessons have you learned this year, good or bad? And then off those lessons, like what are your intentions going in for 2020? And I'm happy to start. So the lessons learned, good and bad, I would just say, I don't even know how to unpack that, is it's so important to make sure your mind and body is in the same space. I think I didn't realize before how much I was a slave is a strong word, but I was just engulfed in this idea of busyness, like busy. My life had plenty of quantity. Like I had all this shit going on, ripping and running, right? Then COVID hit. It's just like, wait, but what you really doing? Like you ain't that busy, right? Like just filled it up with that. So it's just something about my biggest lesson is making sure your mind and your body is in the same place at the same time. And quality is so much better than quantity. Again, things that we all know, but I think 2020 really put a big stamp on that to make me more conscious and more aware of it. And then as I think about intentions for 2020, I think 2021, I'm sorry. I think I've even shared this with the podcast. It's this idea of doing less, but communicating more. So not overcommitting, but the things I do commit to, like really going deep into it, letting people know where I stand. And I think the communicating more is like to the people like I love, family and friends, investing in them, like just really making sure like my word is impeccable, right? Like making sure there is no slipping on that and making sure that I streamline stuff to a point where that can be possible. And then another intention I really have for myself is this idea of leaning into creativity. Something that I seen in 2020 was Black people, our brilliance really came out in our creativity and our ability to push through anything. And I think for us to, this also ties into a lesson, for us to be, successful and to continue to move forward in 2021, creativity has to be at the forefront. So I really want to make space for creativity in my personal and professional life. And even just through the podcast, like we're privileged enough to have this podcast to be creative and have a safe enough community that we can try something and be like, oh, that really ain't work. All right, y'all, we're gonna go back to the drawing board, and being able to have like this fail safe. So that's something I really plan on leaning into. How about y'all? What y'all thinking about?
A lot.
Well, Shan, tell us.
It don't have to be. Go ahead.
Talk to us, Shan.
Yeah.
My lesson that I learned this year is to get on my shit. Like, stop talking, just do and show up and start now, build now. Take that money and invest in yourself. Stop letting your money sit in, white people's banks, and figure out a way to invest in yourself. And for my intentions for 2021 is to become the main source of my income through my creations, period. I don't want to have to work for a company and make somebody else live a life that I know I deserve and my family deserve. I want to completely be like the person that is funding my lifestyle out of the things that I love to do already. So it doesn't feel like a job. And for encouragement for anybody is to keep all Black people mentally open and prepared to receive all opportunities through their efforts. Like we stop being triggered by the small words that white people feel like they're going to dig into us with, and learn to, kind of feel sorry for them that their vocabulary is so small. And, we're not here to teach other ethnicities what it is and what it was, and this is why, but we have to move forward in spaces where we can own things, where we don't have to come to white people for their shit.
Come on.
So that is my thing. And anybody who is not with my thing and my purpose, I never mind that.
Come on.
Talk that shit.
Come on.
SJ.
That's a word.
Come on. That is a word.
Jeff, you there?
All right, so I go. For me, man, I learned a lot of valuable lessons this year, really. I feel like a lot of people had, especially if you're like an introvert, you had a lot of time with yourself just to learn about yourself. And so some valuable lessons that 2020 has taught me. And it's funny that we always, growing up, we say 2020 is the clear vision, you see clearly.
Right.
And this year has really, really made us see a lot of things for what it is, like the government, the, voting system, everything. So for me, it was like letting go doesn't mean that you're failing. If you look at a lot of moguls, like Elon Musk, he failed probably hundreds of more times than he was successful. But I think that we sometimes hoard, things that we should let go. And if we let go, we think that that's failing. And for me, it was really looking at what was no longer serving me and being comfortable with letting that go and realizing that that does not equate failure. It's just a learning lesson. It's a learning curve.
Right.
So that was one lesson. And learning to let go of people and situations that also no longer serve you. Because if you my situation, I was in a 4-year on and off again relationship, and that POP would have you stuck. So I was really, just kind of stuck in the physicality of the relationship. And I really had to physically get away from New York because the love was too strong. So it's like learning to let go of people and situations that just aren't conducive to your higher self, aren't conducive to like the person that you envision that you need to become, and also I had to learn to not settle because you're lonely, don't settle for people or situations because you feel like, that is what you need at that moment. It's believing in yourself and knowing that you deserve better and pushing until you get what you absolutely fucking deserve. And one last lesson that I'll share is don't let other people tell you who you are, because there's a lot of people who have visions of you, who have expected behaviors of you, but you don't have to adhere to anybody's, vision of you. You have to become who you truly are so that you can live in your being and you can teach other people how to respect and how to treat you. And I feel like that's the only way that you are truly going to respect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Everything
Ooh,
about it.
I hope y'all picking up these jewels because he just dropped a bunch of them. Kris and Karlos.
I guess I'll start. I'll start with bad because I like to do the bad first and then round off with
Hamburger method.
Hamburger method. So, we were sent with COVID. This is something that none of us had expected.
Mm-hmm.
So the bad is just like, I'll be honest. Me and my husband have been married. It's our 11th Christmas, 10th Christmas. I forget.
God damn.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. This has been the most difficult year. This is more difficult than the 5-year gap, the 7-year hump.
Yes, I've seen you a lot this year.
This 10-year pandemic has been it's been wild because most of the times I can go do whatever I want to do or spread space. So the lessons learned is it's good and bad. The lessons learned is no matter, even if there's a pandemic, I had to go on some extra runs. I had to pick up some hiking, some biking, some things that got me out of the house because my husband is very much a homebody. So we both can't be in here.
And I don't want to look at you every day.
No.
And that sounds bad, but
No, it's true.
I just want to miss you sometimes.
Well, that's the thing. What we had before was I was a quote unquote house husband. You would go to work at 8 a.m., come back at 6 p.m., your dinner's made, everything
I have
works.
8 hours of me not seeing you.
Your own life. So I guess for us, the bad of this year and the lesson learned was to make sure that we both have our own extracurricular things to do, because my husband really only had his work. And now working from home, he gets done with work at like 2 or 3 o'clock. He's done really early. And I'm like, are you finna go do something besides sitting your ass in the house?
Looking at you,
Looking at me,
talking about you gonna come over here. You gonna come over here and watch TV with me?
Oh my God,
I'm working.
Watch a movie with me? No, I don't. I'm finna go on a run. You should.
I will call you. We go do a group TV watch.
Wow. Wow.
And then what wisdom have we gained? What would you say, babe?
I would say to appreciate every moment that you have with your significant other or your spouse, your boyfriend, whatever.
That sounds like an oxymoron.
Your kids, whatever you call them. Because I enjoy not seeing you for 8 hours a day and like, oh my God, here he is again. I have butterflies again. Otherwise, I have moths in my heart. Why when this nigga still talking to me? Can he please go sit down? I
can appreciate that.
Yeah, I enjoy seeing you again, like for after 8 hours.
I mean, for me, I think our biggest thing from this year has just been like, my husband kept his job. I was able to have insurance. As a creative, that's very important to us.
Facts.
But then there are times where even you with your normal shit, like the electricity went up everything went up, and that's a lot of things y'all don't understand. Like we had to change our internet because we had to need better high-speed internet.
Right.
Our electricity went up, just like we had to pay more for therapy because we were only going to therapy once a month. Now we're going every week
because I have to talk to somebody about how I feel.
So we were able to balance those expenses by being like, you were good at making sure that those, and then whatever extra expenses, I had the opportunity to pay for those. So I think like the best thing that I've learned over the whole year is checks and balances.
Yeah.
And when sometimes they will make sense and sometimes they just don't make sense, but it still equals out.
And then you have to realize that you're not with your partner 8 hours a day. So 8 hours of that day, they made decisions for themselves. And then when you come and impede on their decisions or vice versa, it's going to cause some type of turmoil.
Yeah. And then our intentions for 2020 is just honestly be badass bitches because that's what the fuck we are, honestly. And then to give back, not just like give back, but
to
like,
give back as much to
make
as
generational
as we've given.
To give make generational wealth, not only for our family. And that's what people, when I say to give back, I'm very selfish when I say to give back. I'm giving back to myself. I'm giving myself more time to create generational wealth. I'm giving myself more time to create opportunities for my generations after me, my brothers, my sisters, my aunts, my uncles, my children, if that ever happens.
Put them on, like literally just put them on.
Put people on,
like,
help them out. If we've created a media company called Dillard Media where we have several podcasts now that are all Black. I hope you guys go check them out. If there's an ending, I'll probably give them a shout out instead of me because I want them to I want them to be prosperous.
I'm good. Y'all need to go and make y'all selves where y'all need to be.
So our intentions for 2021 is to make other people more prosperous than ourselves. And with doing that, we're going to be prosperous. So that's the only way it works. Right. So, yeah.
Thank you, kids. Better than you.
Hallelujah.
You know I'll get to running and shouting. Nero?
Lessons learned. I think it's a bunch of them. I think the first thing is always bet on you. You know what they say, always bet on Black. Oops. Bet on you. Bet on yourself. Yeah. Like you are worth it. You can do, you are perfect wherever you at right now to do what you need to do to be successful, right? And I think just learning that from not being in the office, you know, doing my little job here at home, but mostly working on my whole dreams and goals and shit, and like the job only 20% of the time, and really knowing like, oh shit, like this shit can be done and like this shit can be taken off. And I think, you know, some of the intentions that I got for 2021 is I want this to be the last year I work my job. Like I don't want to do this halfway in, halfway out type thing. Like I want to put my whole ass into my entrepreneurial endeavors, and that's what I plan to do. So I'm gonna do whatever I need to do during this year. So this can be the last year that I'll be working for the white man and white woman.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Wow.
Chris, shut up, Chris. You love working for a white man.
Listen,
me and Chris, we love our cubicles. Me and Chris love
like Nero. Is that Nero? Is that Nero? Can we talk about that for a second? They love that shit.
They do.
Because the white man points in the direction of where his money comes from, and I go take that money.
They do.
How about we can create our own money where it comes from?
Listen here. Like I was telling
Naomi, the money where it comes from.
We are.
How?
I was telling Naomi.
You gonna hit a lick?
I was telling Naomi this, like, yeah, babe. She's like, I was like, yeah, I think this is gonna be the last year I work at my job. And she's like, oh, okay. So yeah, we need to plan this out, and we need to like maybe take, you know, step back on a couple things and rearrange
more
stuff
cushion,
get a cushion. I'm like, nigga, no.
I said, ooh.
If I put my full ass in this, we ain't gotta work. We ain't gotta step back from that.
I can appreciate but here's the thing with us, I'm Nayambi and I'm you. So I have already planned for the cushion. I've been stealing money from you, and I made up a fake bill about 7 months ago. We got about $4,000 cushion that I have saved for us. I'm letting you know I'm not going back to work, and I'm gonna go do this dream.
I ain't going to the strip club, CB.
Exactly. We're gonna have us a separate episode about that. There's something about like partnering with creators and cubicle warriors. Like it's something to that. Like the energies. Like sometimes when Niram and I connect, it's like magical and it's amazing. The other times I'm like, listen, I like to.
What you do on my money?
I like a copay. But that's something I need to work through too, right? Like
you over there like what you doing? What you doing?
Because I feel it, Naomi. I feel it. That shit. As a cubicle warrior,
that's not got
my bonus was secured. I see these other.
Okay, and then your bonus comes to me, and I'm gonna double down on that bonus, and I'll give you your bonus back. I'll give you your bonus plus double that.
I need whatever you don't know. I need that too.
Look, he's talking about, is it FID? It was
Sort
the
of FDIC.
secured.
Y'all silly. I love this. This has been so amazing.
Mhm.
And I know we're getting right to that point. We're about to wrap up. But before we did that, I wanted to leave the space for all of y'all to, if you had just any encouragement or if there's anything you would love to share with the
Right.
Black Love Matters community, we just want to have this platform for y'all to share up and out anything you like. And then also, after you share, please let folks know how that they can get in touch with you, be it IG handles, podcasts, books. Like, we really want to make sure folks have this moment where they can connect with you.
Let's start off with Shan.
You love putting Shan on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can find me anywhere on this thing we call the internet. He Gets It podcast, or you can go to whoisshan.com. You can go to Cozy Womb podcast, hashtag it, check out the show. I do have an on-the-go book club called So It Pays Me on Beh, which is basically a book club with two of my other friends who are not usual podcasters, but they're trying. We basically go through a book. So the next book that we will be starting next month is Lovecraft Country.
Nice.
It's a short read, but we really wanted to dissect the story because we've been told that the book is better than the show.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
I have been reading it.
So we'll be reading that, but you can contact me at shegetsitpod@gmail.com. You can DM me. I'm on Twitter, shegetsitpod, or Cozy One Podcast. I'm looking to collab with more shows this year. Next year, coming up later this week. Anybody that has any products or businesses that they're starting where they want to advertise, I can put it in the show. If you want an audio clip, just let me know. I just really want to get better products out here, especially if it's Black people's products and businesses, because I feel like we have a habit of waiting for a white company to want to talk about us when we can talk about ourselves.
Yep.
So I just want to create the space for other people to push what they're passionate about out. So if you have any audio clips for advertising that you want to push, I would love to put it in the show. It could be something for kids or it could be something for grownups. I could push it in any of the 3 shows. My books are still on Amazon, where you can buy them, Barnes and Noble. And I'm just out here creating. I'm looking to create and expand. And like I said, work for myself next year.
That's what's up. SJ5D, what you got?
All right, Shan, Ashay. I forgot to slip in my intention, so I'm gonna do that right now.
I wasn't gonna put you on blast, but I was like, he ain't say his intention. Go ahead.
So I got a couple of intentions. Really, I would like to, like what Niran was saying, I would like to establish financial freedom. I feel like I'm on a good course to being there. I'm definitely doing like some things that will help me get there. So, really cutting out the white man, signing my own checks. I've been learning about certain tricks. Like if you work from home, you could, and if you use your home as an office space, you could pretty much write off 30% of your rent or take off 30% of your rent by, using your LLC and saying that your home is an office. So I'm learning things like that, white tricks to implement, things that they do that they don't really want us to know about. So, establishing financial freedom. And I've been really on this whole TikTok movement. I think is like a new form of like social media. It's different from what we've seen before. So I really would like to break like 10,000 followers on TikTok so I can join that creator fund and start getting paid from that. Oh. Also, for my acting, I will really, really like to be a series regular and, go ahead and be in my first feature film as a principal actor. And I would like for my podcast, Set It Off podcast, to be hosted, a podcast family. I was looking out Loudspeakers Network because I think they have a good lineup of shows, but just really, really establishing my podcast going into my 3rd season, looking for like a host family. Mm-hmm. And so for my encouragement, words of wisdom for whoever needs it, don't confuse your soulmate for a twin flame.
Child.
I think that.
Stop. Pause. Hold up. Pause.
I done got friends. I said,
Shit.
that ain't cute. Hold on, wait a
We need to pause right here. We gotta let that breathe.
Because I got niggas who I'm trying to talk a friend out of a twin flame now.
We gotta let that breathe. And I just had to flag it so he can say it again. God damn, you ready?
But with a twin flame.
Repeat it. 1,
Hallelujah.
2, 3. Repeat that shit.
Don't confuse your soulmate for a twin flame.
Mm.
Woo! Because I think that we have these levels. It's levels to this shit, right? So you have people who come into your life that are teachers, and those teachers are soulmates, and they are there to get you ready, prepared for your twin flame. But if you don't grasp the lessons that these soulmates are trying to teach you, you're just going to continuously get into these relationships that are lessons, but we confuse the lessons with a permanent situation where really that person is preparing you for your twin flame, preparing you for your better half. So I know a lot of people are in these relationships and they confuse, well, we've been together for 6 years, we've been together for 20 years. Well, the length of a relationship, it doesn't speak much if you're not happy. If it doesn't speak much if that person is just a stepping stone for you to get to where you need to be. So those are like words of wisdom. Somebody need to hear that. Somebody need to, to be touched by that. You can follow me on IG and Twitter at Set It Off Podcast. You can follow me IG, Twitter, and TikTok, Astro5D. I'm really hopping into my astrology bag more in 2021. And also on all platforms, Sir Jeffrey 5D. You can email me at streamsetitoff@gmail.com. That's streamsetitoff@gmail.com. And please go and download or buy a nigga's book. It's called Words from a Crescent Moon. It's poetry, it's haikus, it's life lessons. Just it's available on Amazon. It's $5.99 paperback. Holla.
That's what's up.
Thank you so much.
Kris and Karlos, what you got?
Okay, so one quick thing, Jeffrey, can you give me an example of the first couple? And then what we're going for Kris's Karlos is for 2020, we have learned that always support yourself and what you are doing in this lifetime, because you never know what's going to be happening.
Speaking to the mic,
Why
brother.
you
We
being
losing.
shady?
Speaking to the mic, brother. We can't hear you.
This nigga being shady. Listen, Jeffrey, this nigga, my husband has had 3 shots of Hennessy. I forgive you.
Ooh.
Because he was like, how long has Sir Jeffrey been in a relationship? I was like, I don't know that man like that. Listen, I think he disagreed with something that you said, and he felt the need to say something. And I literally just shushed him with my physical hand.
I didn't hear it. Can you say it again? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. He want to answer your question.
I love the site safety. Look, say that shit.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You embarrassed me now. Go ahead and answer your question.
Go ahead, Kris.
You gave a very good example, and I really appreciate your perspective on this. Can you just give an example of whom you've seen that you base your experience off of?
Yes. My experience.
No, wait. I think
relationship
before you
advice?
start, Sir Jeffrey, Kris has a problem with the gay community because, like you said, it doesn't matter if you're 6, 10, 12, 13 years. It's always worked. But in the gay community, we never get past like 2 years.
Right. And so,
let him answer.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
That might be the name of the episode. I'm sorry.
You can answer your question, Sir Jeffrey.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I base it off of, just having a minor in psychology. I see a lot of people who just, we carry these unhealed childhood traumas that we carry into relationships, and we project it onto the other person. And that person is really a mirror. And you're supposed to, even if you got all your shit together, you've done all the shadow work you need to do. When you get into a relationship, everything's going to be exposed. Your insecurities, your triggers,
there was
everything.
Something that you said that was, what was it, babes? That you were just like, what was that quote that you said, Sir Jeffrey? It was like, don't date your flame.
Oh, don't confuse a soulmate with the twin flame.
Yes.
And that's where I was going.
Kris was just confused by that. He just needed you to explain that.
But That shit was actually very good.
So you think I'm your flame?
No.
So that's all I'm getting from this.
Wow. Okay.
That's all I'm getting from this because you had to have this nigga explain what he said. Anyways,
Jeff, hold up. We got to have to pause. Jeff, I need you to go ahead and decipher and define a twin flame versus a soulmate form.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm your soulmate. Am I a soulmate or am I a twin flame?
Soulmate. You're not a twin flame. This ain't Purple Mountain.
Let me go ahead and break it on down for
Jeff,
you.
you about to break up a happy home, so break it on down for him.
Oh shit. Let me lightly unpack this for you. Well, a twin flame is pretty much yourself mirrored into two people split apart, and you guys are pretty much like, it's gonna be hard. Like if you've seen that movie Hitchcock with Will Smith, that is actually a perfect example. It's gonna be really hard when you guys meet each other, but this will be the most powerful relationship of your life. Whereas a soulmate, you can distinctly tell the difference because the soulmate is in your life simply to prepare you to meet your twin flame. And sometimes we get stuck on our soulmates.
You just gave me my question to our next therapy question. Because I'm gonna be like, ma'am, you let me know if I'm a twin flame
which one,
or if I'm a soulmate because I need answers. But let's round it up. Kris, where can they follow you? Where can they follow you?
Follow me. It's _Kris Dillard _ I think.
And then you can follow us on our podcast page at Kris and Karlos on Instagram. And then I also have a book that's coming. Oh, it's coming out. That's already out. In January, it's called Water of the States. You can get it at Target, Walmart, pretty much everywhere. Amazon.
KarlosDillard.com.
Please go to KarlosDillard.com if you want to purchase my book and purchase it from KarlosDillard.com.
And support a Black business.
Because I keep about 80%.
Cool.
It's not that much, but I keep a whole lot more.
Oh, you got that? You got that book buyback deal, huh?
Listen. I be trying to. I'm like, please don't stop. Everyone, I got your book off Amazon, bitch. You just lost me 30%.
Yeah.
So, and then other than that, we have our podcast that comes out weekly, Kicking It with Kris and Karlos on all platforms. We're a little bit drunk because we've been drinking Hennessy. I'm sorry, guys. We get drunk. We're not near now, but we get drunk on our show.
Love it. The nigga drink.
We feel like what we say is we're near Nyambi 10 years ago.
Before they had a marathon. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But thank y'all for like listening, and I hope y'all enjoyed us because we're just ratchet as fuck and we love it. And thank y'all for this opportunity, Nirma Nyambi. We really love you guys so much.
Mabel agrees too.
Mabel, you have no idea how much I love you. Desi didn't make it.
Desi
and Mabel, the baddest, you're still here, girl. I'm here for you.
I'm here.
We didn't have Mabel for 2 years. I can't believe it.
Gone.
Y'all dropped Desi like he was a bad habit.
That nigga was a spirit. I had to get him out of the house.
Moment of silence for Desi.
Desi was get him out of here. I don't play that. You know, you can't be trying to bite. Desi was crazy, man. Remember how he was?
Yes. I told you not to get the fucking dog.
He liked me, but he did not mess with you at all, did he, Niram?
No.
He was like, I don't know why.
That's the problem. Niram likes that the new dog is all up on him.
Exactly.
And Niram wasn't ready for that Detroit nigga to be like, I'll fuck you, nigga.
Wow. It's my house.
That was Desi. Desi was a Detroit nigga. He said, fuck you and feed me. That's what Desi said. That's what Desi said.
All the time he was ready to growl and all that other stuff. Oh my goodness. This has been absolutely amazing. Y'all know we love y'all so much. And you know we had to come back for the end of the year just to wrap this up. So I just want to give all the shout outs to you all. Once we update the show notes, make sure we have everything that's mentioned. And then also on Instagram and social media, we'll have it on the post. So y'all can like go directly to all of their like IG handles so you can go support and do all that other stuff. Now we're gonna close this on out.
Yeah. So as always, to submit your Black Love story, go to blacklovematters.com to submit a question for Kitchen Table Talk. Shoot us an email, blacklovematters@gmail.com. That's Black with no K. And to leave a comment about anything we talked about, head on over to that website. We got that SoundCloud and we got that voicemail at 508-784-1111. That's 508-784-1111. Talk to y'all later. Remember, love is ever evolving. Peace.
Peace.